opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the host and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to Outdoors People. With me, C.W. Getz, and her, Maya Marzaki. Good evening. It's Wednesday, March 13th, 2024. We've got a beautiful 70-degree Fahrenheit day here in north central Illinois. That is 21 degrees Celsius for everyone else in the world. Let's see. Just got some notes here. Fresh off a Canoecopia this weekend up in Madison, Wisconsin, the world's largest paddle sports expo. And what a fun time. A really, really fun time. Saw a lot of old friends there. And I don't mean they're old, but a lot of friends that we've known for some time at the show. Really great time. A lot of cool stuff there. Maya made the trip and got to meet a lot of people that she's only seen on screen during our show. So I think that was very cool. I know she had a wonderful time, but I will tell you, Maya is not going to be with us this evening. She's a little under the weather. I think she maybe got a little something at the airport other than a snack. So maybe a bug. We don't know. But I know she's probably listening tonight. So hi, Maya, and get well soon. Let's see. What else do I want to talk about here? Juan, let's just ask you what the weather is down there in West Palm Beach, Florida. There he is.
So down here, we are at a very, very crisp 81 degrees.
Very crisp 81 degrees. I love it. Oh, my God. You want to feel crisp? Come on up to Chicago sometime, maybe about January, February. It's very, very crispy.
Thanks.
Yeah.
No, thanks.
Well, I wonder what you people, and here's the thing, too, is Marielle, my girlfriend, Marielle, she came up here from Brazil in December. Or it was actually November, but the early part of December she left. And she loved it. She loved the cold weather. I just blew me away. But I think most people from tropical places, from very warm places, would just not know what to do with themselves in this kind of weather. It's just really weird. Now I can take the heat, but other people who can take the heat can't take the colds. It's just weird how that works. You get accustomed to things, and yeah. Are you going to be surfing pretty soon? With all the crisp weather you're having?
Do that.
You don't do that? Guy lives in Florida, doesn't surf. What's wrong with that picture, man? My God.
Well, I got to learn how to swim first, right?
Oh, well, there's that. Yeah. Well, you can put a life jacket on. That's what we do. People who know how to swim, just, put your PFD on and hope for the best. I made that up. You shouldn't do that, kids. Let's see here. Well, let's get right into it. Let's meet tonight's guest, shall we? Tonight's guest is 34-year-old Polish freediving instructor and underwater photographer Wojciech Dopierala, who holds a master's degree in plant biotechnology. He was the underwater photographer of the year in 2021 and also a finalist in 2023, as well as having won various other titles in numerous competitions. Wojciech has appeared in publications such as The Times, Daily Mail, The Sun, Sunday Express, Underwater Photo Magazine, and Yahoo USA. Wojciech's list of works include a 2023 documentary about the conservation of natural reserve of Malpelo Island in Colombia, and Marlin expedition to Baja California, and Socorro, I think I did that correctly, Socorro diving expedition, just to name a few. And with that, welcome to the show, Wojciech.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank
How
you very
badly did I
much.
screw up those names on this sheet here that I read?
No, actually, you did quite well. I was like expecting it way worse. So well
Oh,
done,
wow.
well
That's
done.
good. That's good. That's very good. You don't think I'm capable? No, I'm just joking. But hey, I think did I roll my R's like that, like I was supposed to, or what? Did I do okay?
It was good. It was
Good
really
for me.
good, man.
Good for
Looks
me.
like you're a professional.
Yeah. Well, we did it before the show. It was just like a last minute cram jam session. So, hey, first, let me say, Wojciech, you are one badass dude. Swimming with sharks and stingrays and all that business. My gosh, that's incredible.
Oh, come on,
I
they're
don't know.
all friends, you know.
They're all your friends. Oh my
Of course,
gosh.
mine and yours and everyone who goes underwater.
I totally understand that, but sometimes your friends may turn on you, and that kind of scares me a little bit, especially when you're underwater.
Ah,
You can't
that's
run
only
fast underwater.
that's only when we talk about human friends, you know. When
Ah,
you are talking about the animal friends, they are usually like you can lean on them.
I think there's a lot of truth to that. Well said. Well said. Well, okay, Wojciech, let me ask you, how did you first get into underwater photography?
Um, um, let's say that photography was always my passion, like from the as far as I can remember. It was something that was always like very interesting for me, and photography is a passion which follows me to all the other passions of mine. And as I love nature more than everything I can and imagine, the underwater nature and underwater world was something which was always like since the very beginning was driving me a lot and very interesting for me. So I knew when I was already like doing photography, like on lands, animals, wildlife, landscapes, I was always like thinking one day I really would like to go and do underwater photography. So yeah, so it's like an evolution of a passion.
Wojciech, what was your first camera? Was it like this cheesy thing that you get at the dime store? Like I had when I was a
Like
kid.
we always had like this like Konica Minolta, very simple, just point and shoot
Yeah.
film camera in my home, just to just to point shoot and snap some memories, like a Christmas with the family, a
Yeah.
family
Right.
trip,
Right.
wherever. But I can't say that it's mine came right. And my parents were like, saving those 24 frames, like to make the most out of them. So my very first camera, which I can say that it's mine and I could use and I be like, try to do something with it. I remember it was like digital Olympus
Oh wow.
super zoom camera. We bought it like together with my father, and it was like a beginning of my photography journey for sure.
That's cool. Then you had digital. See, back when I was a kid, 100 years ago, we had these cameras that are actually film, and then you threw the camera away too. I mean, when the film was, I guess you just sent that into the what do you call it, developers or whatever they call those processing, the
Yeah.
photo processing, and then you just give them the camera because it was cheap and it was a throwaway thing. So yeah, it's a little different. I don't know. You ever had a film camera before, or was that way before your time?
I mean, yeah. As I told you, like the first ones, they were like film cameras, but actually I could start to learn photography when we moved to digital, as it's
Yeah.
it costs no money to just shoot and just delete stuff which doesn't work. Which when you're beginner and you're learning, like most of the things doesn't work. So on the film, it was way too expensive, and then on the digital camera, I could really like just do this trial and error and try until you learn something and start to do like real photos.
Yeah, see, you guys got it good because you could just delete. We just cost us money
Yeah,
every time we
exactly.
screwed up. So
Yeah.
yeah, you learn
Uh-huh.
fast, or you go broke. One of the two. Hey, you know what? What type of challenges do you have to deal with when you're doing photography and videography underwater? I mean, obviously, you need waterproof stuff, but what other kind of challenges present themselves?
Yeah, the first challenge is to protect your gear, as we know that electronics and water, and especially salt water, doesn't really work together.
Right.
So first thing, you have to really be sure that your expensive gear is well protected. So you have to have a housing which you trust. You have to know how to use it, how to close it, how to seal it, and so on. But then, as we humans are designed to work on the dry land, so you have to learn how to swim that first, and then how to hold your breath, then how to dive down, then maybe how to scuba dive or free dive. So like every single photo is a little challenge for yourself also, not only to your photographer skills, but also your diving or freediving skills. And probably it's also that's why it's like even more interesting for me, because it's not only photography, but also a sport.
Yeah.
So you have to like not only be a photographer, not only have an good eye for things, not only have be creative, but also you have to be able to actually go down for your photo.
Did you ever get down there and something screws up and you're like, oh, I gotta go surface again, fix my camera or whatever? You ever had that happen? I'm sure you have, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you have to be like even better photographer because of that. That you maybe sometimes you don't have as many chances, or you don't have that much time to take your shot. So you have to be very familiar with your gear. You have to really know what you are doing. It has to be like the camera is like a part of your body, you know. So you
Yeah.
don't have to really think which dial I have to move now, which button to press. It's like a part of your body. You just go down and you shoot, and you don't have to think. I mean, you have to think, but it's like happens like under the hood, you know. You don't have to be like present with the camera setting and stuff.
So you got your act together is what it amounts to. You got your act together before you go underwater, right?
Yeah, definitely.
What was your most unusual water photo shoot that you've ever done?
I mean, like most unusual stuff will be always some stuff which we do like with freedivers, with models, when we have a bit more stage situation, because then we can like get ourselves really creative. So we've done stuff like putting models with a dress on the like 20 meters deep shipwrecks, or went for searching for underwater landscapes which look like Atlantis, 40 meters
Oh,
deep, going
wow.
there on single breath, exploring caves when usually people don't go without scuba gear, and then we were just going there, just freediving and looking for those for special shots. And like all the interactions with the wildlife, always it's like very very special as well. So that's one of the things that I'm never bored of underwater photography, because it has so many different faces. So you can really explore a lot, and there's always something new to try.
You know, I can imagine. I can't imagine. I'm just thinking. You take your breath and you get on there, and I can just see me getting the perfect shot, and then running out of breath. Going, gotta go back up to the top. You ever had that happen?
Oh my god, it happens to me every single time I go down, man. But
I
then
love.
it's like all right, you wait for this perfect with the wildlife or with the models. It's like all right, you go down, you get into place, you have the frame, then you wait until the model gets the pose, he or she starting doing well, and then you are already like all right, I would like to go up, but no, I will wait like a couple more seconds until
Yeah.
the shot is there. Then you want to go up, and then you see some different angle, and then all right, let's a bit more, and then it's like all right, maybe it's time to go, or maybe not. So there is always this.
You know, I can see me
um,
getting down there and getting in place, and then going, "Dang, I gotta pee. Gotta go back up." You
I don't
know,
know, underwater you can pee wherever you want.
it's true. I never thought about that. Well, maybe if you're in a suit, though, I don't know if that works. Does it? You know.
um
Uh,
all the divers and free divers, we divide ourselves for those who pee in their suit, and then those who lie about it, you know.
I love it. So that's like not a weird, uncommon thing. I love it. See, only on this show you get asked weird questions like that off the wall. Hey, Juan has got a question or two for. He's also a photographer, and he'd like to ask you a couple of things. Juan, jump on here with us. Hello, Juan. Is he in the studio? He was there. We saw him before the show.
He's holding his breath.
Maybe he's in the bathroom. No,
Maybe.
here he is. Oh, he says later. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I'll just ask this. And Marieli Faria asks this question: have you ever seen plastic pollution in any of the oceans that you've filmed in? And I know Marieli is a environmentalist, and which I think is very, very awesome. She'd like to know, what kind of stuff, plastic, have you seen anything, and what do you see?
I wish to say that no, I don't see plastic, but yeah, unfortunately, I see it like every single day.
Wow.
When you just see a bit, then you are all right. Today wasn't that bad, and then you are in the places like Red Sea, Egypt, for example, which is full of plastic bags.
Really?
Um,
What all
then
kinds of things
even
do you see down there? What kind of plastic stuff are we talking about?
mostly bags. We see bags floating around, or
Really?
little pieces of plastic, of bags, or whatever that you cannot identify anymore. And then Coca-Cola bottles like settled somewhere on the bottom. Like even in the most remote places I've been, like your favorite Malpelo Islands, you can tell it again if you want, which is like 500 kilometers away from Colombia, like in the
Wow.
middle of the ocean. Even there, we found plastic like floating around. So,
Wow.
yeah, I mean, it's a big deal. Yeah, it's not only some a slogan which you hear here and there around. It's real thing.
Well, as I understand it, it's in the fish. Fish eat the. I mean, because it's in the we eat the fish, and it's somehow in the meat of their and we eat that,
Yeah,
and
I
then
mean,
we
this
ingest it. We have problems.
those are those like famous microplastics. The ones we saw that are like, let's call them macroplastics, and then
Mhm.
there are those like very little pieces that you can't see with
Yeah.
your like bare eye, and those ones, yeah, I mean, it's like a cycle that's fish eat it, then we eat the fish, then it's like again and
I
again.
think we were all much better off when we were drinking Coke out of glass bottles. What do you think?
I mean,
And
yeah,
it
the
tasted
glass,
better too.
it tastes better, it looks better. It's way easier to recycle. Even if you don't recycle it, it's that bad to the environment. So yeah, glass forever.
Yeah, the only thing was when you get a broken bottle on the beach, it's kind of bad. But all
Yeah,
things
there is
considered,
no roses without thorns, right?
that's right. It's absolutely true. Although, here's the thing: if the bottle on the beach, a broken bottle, you cut yourself, you'll heal. But if you eat enough plastic, like on the other, the alternative, that's really kind of not good. I don't think you heal from that, do you? Let's see here. Okay, what is your favorite thing to shoot underwater?
Wildlife, definitely wildlife. And then I have to choose what kind of wildlife. Whales. I mean,
Really?
it was like,
Wow.
yeah, it was like a dream since forever. Like whales was always something which was like very interesting for me. And then when I start diving, I mean, like first like snorkeling, then free diving, scuba diving, whatever diving or whatever, just looking at the ocean, like for me was always a dream to see whales, and of course to dive with whales, and of course as I like to do photos, to free dive with whales and doing photos of whales, and I could accomplish this dream 2 years ago, and I saw my first whale. It was a humpback whale in Baja California in Mexico, and then ever since I just want to see more whales and
What
all
kind is
this.
your favorite whale? Which one do you love shooting the most? The coolest.
So far, humpbacks for sure, but just met sperm whale for the first time now in December, and it's very interesting species. I will have a luck now in April. I will spend all month in Mauritius, which is well known for the residence population of sperm whales, and I will have a bit more time with them. So maybe I will like them even more than
Yeah,
humpbacks. We'll see.
that's cool. Not to be presumptuous, but what kind of disasters have you experienced during the shoot?
Disasters. Let's find some wood around. So far, I didn't have any disaster. What's what I
Really?
would tell. I mean, like no water in housings. Like more wood, please.
Yeah, right.
No accidents. Like really.
Wow.
So far, I don't know. Maybe I'm lucky, or maybe
I was
we are
just gonna
doing
say,
things right. But
yeah.
there's so far nothing that I could tell that's disaster. Of course, like typical stuff like lens cap on the lens. Yeah, it happened to me. Like, and I guess that for everyone who shoots underwater, it will happen. I mean, it happens to all photographers, but as you don't have your camera in the housing, you can just take your lens
Oh,
cap out and
yeah,
keep shooting, right? Nothing happens.
yeah,
But if you are
right.
underwater and your lens cap
It's
is
a
on your
big deal.
lens, and then it's a big deal. So
Oh my
then it's
god.
like damn it, this is like
Yes.
something that you can tell a disaster. And yeah, it happens to me like quite late actually last year for the first time, jumping from the boat with massive whale shark, perfect visibility, and then those like the screen was very dark. I didn't understand why, and then I turned the camera around, and the lens cap was there, smiling to me. It's like,
Yeah, I think that falls under what type of challenges do you have to deal with when doing underwater? I think that would be definitely qualify as one of those. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, it does happen, but it's easy here. But you get underwater, everything changes. Yeah. Hey, what have you not yet had the opportunity to shoot? And you're like, man, I can't wait for this opportunity that I can shoot this. What would that be?
can you please repeat, because I think I had like a little bit broken connection. I didn't
Oh,
really
yeah,
hear
yeah.
your question.
What have you not had the opportunity to shoot yet that you'd really have been dying to shoot?
I was telling you that the whales are my favorite, so there are still some species of whales that I would really would like to see, like blue whale, for example, like the biggest animal that ever lived on the planet. So
Wow.
I would really wish to free dive with them and to shoot them. There are some like when people ask me what I like to shoot, and I always tell whales, but then there are sharks somewhere behind my head telling, hey, what about us? And yeah, there are some like there's one species of shark, it's treasure shark, which is very quite a unique species, which I would really like to see and shoot as well.
Yeah.
And the list is like never ending, you know. Always when I'm like tick one, the first thing what happens, I want to see it again. And then there's always some new species that they're on the list. So yeah, but if I have to like choose one right now, blue whale for sure.
Really? How about killer whales? You ever done killer whales?
I saw them only once, and I wish to see them, and I hope that I will see them many more time again. I had to wait quite long to see them. I work in Baja California quite a lot in Mexico, and it's quite, I can't say easy to see them, but it's a good place to have a luck to see them. And finally, I could accomplish this dream in December last year, and it was like amazing experience. One of the best experience I had underwater for sure.
Yeah. You know, you're 34 years old. And I know, at least me, when I was 34, I was bulletproof. But is there ever a time you get a little scared, you know, different fish, whatever? I mean, you ever get scared?
What I'm scared about is more about losing flights, messing up dates, time zone changes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, or yeah,
Nothing
this kind of
underwater
things.
scares
Like,
you. So you're not scared.
underwater, not really. It's like my happy place. It's always that everything works there. Even if I don't see anything, I'm just have fun because I'm in water. No. So
Did you ever get too
no.
bold and you go inside of a ship and then you like get stuck or something like that? And you're like, oh no, I'm stuck. I can't get out of here. You ever been there?
No. It's like always. I mean, man, we try to do things well, you know. Always when you get into a place, you always check it before. Like first, like go down, take a look. All right, I have to go in here, then I go
Yeah.
out there, or I have to go like turn around and go out the same place. And I really, really like to squeeze myself in places underwater. And we
That's what I was thinking.
always want to find even like you know, smaller and smaller
Yeah.
gap to swim through.
Yeah.
But even though, I mean, there will be always like there's more places to see and more gaps to squeeze in. So we always sure that we are squeezing in and we can squeeze out also.
Yeah. Any close calls though? You ever get in there and go, damn, I'm not going to do this again? You know, you're like, hey man, I almost didn't get out of there.
Not
yet?
really. No.
Well, give it time.
Sorry,
You're
boring.
34.
Sorry.
Give it time. You're bold. I'm sure you'll get there one of these days. Hey, you know, and that's the thing and it's a beautiful thing when you're in your 30s and 20s and you're like, hey, I'm going to try. That's the adventure. I mean, that is the adventure. You know, just hopefully you make it out unscathed.
Yeah, man, I'm really like I feel so glad about this that I can like live an adventure, and
Yeah.
I'm doing things that sometimes I have to stop, think, and then am I really here? Am I really doing here, or we are really going there to see that? Really, it's like sometimes that's I really have to stop and think, and sometimes I can't believe that's
Kind of
it's
surreal,
real.
huh? Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. That is a pretty cool feeling, I'm sure. So, what's the most interesting thing that you've discovered when you were shooting a shipwreck?
Ah, the shipwrecks, it's like always a mystery because it's a wreck, so it's always hiding this mystery that why it's there, how it sank. You have to find them. Some of them are easy to find. Some of them you have to really like search for it pretty well. I remember that one time in Lanzarote, we were looking for one very really particular one. We knew that it's there. It's been like the people were diving there, but we like asked like 3 or 4 different dive centers and people who seem to know where it is, and it's like always they're saying, "No, yeah, it's there. No, 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 it's there." And then, yeah, no, it's right there.
Oh,
So
boy.
we like it. Yeah, it took us like 3 days of exploring, and when we
Oh,
like thought
wow.
that it will not appear, we were like, okay, this is the last time we will go. We'll try, and if we don't find it, just let's have a leave
Forget it,
then.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, and then we were like, it was like really. I went, all right. I'll just go down and see because it was like quite deep one, like lying on 40 meters.
Oh, wow.
So with the good visibility, and we had very good visibility that day, we should see like more or less that there's something. But I was like, all right, I'll just go down and see what's there because I was like quite bored of swimming around for hours. And then I was
Finding
like, I
nothing.
went down like maybe, yeah, like went down maybe 20 meters, and I was like going forwards a bit, and then it just boom, just appeared in
Wow.
front. And I was like, no way, really. It's like this feeling that you think that it will never happen, and it just boom, it's just there.
That's
It
so cool.
was
Now,
nice. Yeah.
are you doing scuba gear when you're going down for these shipwrecks? Or are you free diving or both?
Uh, Always when I mean I do both, but always when I can, and it's when it's possible, I prefer freediving way more than scuba.
Really?
There are some particular jobs which are easier to do scuba diving, but most of the stuff and most what work you see me doing, it's always freediving. Yeah.
And why is that? Why do you prefer that?
Um, Freediving for me was always way more natural, the way of exploring underwater world. It's always feels easier for me to just put like minimal gear, just go down and enjoy water in this free way. Scuba was always like too much stuff you have to put on the top. You have to like
Kind of awkward.
have this, yeah, I mean have this tank on your back. Then you don't swim, you just move around. In free
Mm.
diving you are really really free. And then for to do some jobs it's way easier. I mean, especially if you work with people. I mean, even talking sometimes we don't understand each other, so underwater when you have to
Oh, sure.
and free diving, we go down, we shoot, then we go up, we can talk to each other, we can say, all right man, maybe try to sit there or look there, swim like this direction or that direction, or go there, do that.
Yeah.
And we can finish the job way easier than just scuba diving. We are not limited to the time which the tanks get empty on like half an hour, 40 minutes, 1 hour,
Oh,
whatever, and then you
yeah.
have to go and switch for another. In the free diving we can spend like hours and just go up and down how many times we want. So yeah, definitely
And
if I
plus,
can, I always do free diving.
putting all that stuff on takes time too, I'm sure, and even taking it off, right? Um, so okay, so, here, what's the deepest? I mean, and I say this because not every shipwreck is 40 meters, right? Some of them are really, really deep. What's the deepest that you've ever done an underwater shoot?
The deepest photo shoot so far will be 40 meters, which is actually the limit of what my housing, which I'm using now, allows me. We have projects to shoot deeper than that, but so far we haven't done it because of the housing, and it's like pretty expensive piece of gear which you cannot just switch to a new one
Yeah.
whenever you want. So yeah, so far like 40 meters, 45 even. Like we have like the deepest pool in Europe. It's in Poland.
Mhm.
And we shoot on the very bottom, which is 45. And here in Tenerife, we did a shooting in one very particular place, which is one of the like most iconic dive spots here in Tenerife. It's like exact 40 meters deep. It's like basaltic columns, which it look like Atlantis. It's like it looks like made by human because
Wow.
the columns are like perfect hexagonal shape,
Wow.
totally straight. Usually we don't see straight lines in nature, and there you can find like
Yeah.
perfect straight line columns, one
Wow.
next to another, and it was like only handful of times it was done in freediving and was never shoot in freediving, and we did with my colleagues. We did it once, two times already, and we already planning to come back again.
I can imagine when you come home from work, it's not like you're stressed out and all that kind of stuff. It's like you really had a very cool day and you did a lot of
Yeah.
cool stuff. You saw a lot of cool
Yeah.
things. And I'm sure, I wonder, people that do the kind of things like you do, I wonder if like sometimes that keeps you up at night thinking about the things that you've done, the places you've been, things you've seen. Is that true or not?
Usually what I'm thinking is where to go next.
Not too much reflection, but more looking ahead.
What keeps me busy usually is where to go next, or what's for tomorrow, what's the plan for tomorrow, what's the next trip. So of course, I usually when I'm editing photos on videos, then I'm coming back again to the moment when I was shooting.
Yeah.
And maybe I have like having the results in front of me, I have this moment of thinking, all right, I remember when we were planning the play to go there and shoot, when we have the idea for the photos, and now I have a photo in front of me. So then there's a moment when I go back in time. But usually if I'm sitting doing nothing, which doesn't happen really often, then I'm mostly thinking, all right, what's next?
That's pretty cool. Wojciech, I think you're living the dream. I think you're living the dream.
At least my dream, yes, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, listen, we've got some really cool photos that you sent us, and I believe one should have those, and maybe we can pop those up and take a look at them, and you can tell us a little bit about each one of them. Here we go.
All right, you can see a beautiful smile of the tiger shark. Tiger shark is one of the biggest species of sharks. Very friendly if you know how to approach them. Usually quite scared and aware of humans, so they don't really interact with humans. But if you do things right, they feel safe enough and they come close, like on this photo, for example.
I've heard there's a trick to that. I mean, there's a way to approach them, and they're not scared. They're not in attack mode. All that. It's true, though, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
So you always have to like keep an eye contact with them. You can see the same tiger shark, and as you can see, they are very, very nice and friendly. So if you approach them correctly, it's no problem to dive or free dive with them. Or like the best thing is just always be sure that there is somewhere closer to the shark than you are, and then you are safe.
They look so cool. I mean, that's just beautiful.
Beautiful fish, yeah. Here we have manta rays in Maldives. There's one particular bay in Maldives which is protected by UNESCO, which is well known of the accumulation of mantas. They usually are together, but not in so huge numbers. And in this small bay, which is like not bigger than soccer playground, and you can have more than 200 of them together.
Oh wow!
So it gets really crazy. I had luck to be there like 3-4 times already. You have to even though if it's known that they are there and they can like gather together, it's not that easy to see like so many of them together at once. And a few times I was really lucky to witness that.
Now, obviously, they're not afraid of you.
I mean, no, not at all. They are just doing their thing. They are feeding on plankton, the smallest creatures living out there is in the suspended in the water. So they are doing their thing, just flying around, eating, and as long as you are not on the way, they don't care at all. And if you're on the way, they just dodge you, and that's okay.
That's it. I mean, any danger level? What's the danger level there?
No, nothing, zero. I mean,
Really?
if you know how to swim, there's no danger.
Big F. There's a big F. I love it. That's beautiful.
All right, here you can see a friend of mine, Victor, also excellent photographer. doing what he loves and what I love, freediving in the caves. It's in Menorca, Spain, in Balearic Islands, which is very famous. I don't know. No, it's not famous of that, but it's among the divers. It's famous because of the caves. It's the entire island is like a Swiss cheese, and this is one of our favorite ones. You have to like go down maybe 8, 9 meters, then swim 15 inside of the cave, and inside the cave there is a huge like bubble of air which you can see on the top of this photo. So you can
Oh,
actually be
okay.
there. You can be there
Wow.
like breathing and freediving inside of the cave.
How does that
So
happen? I mean, is that air just been there, or does it get resupplied somehow?
It has like very small connections outside, like
Okay.
very, very like tiny holes which reach the surface, and then yeah, and it's really, really big. Like inside, we could be like like size of the small house. Like I mean the airspace
Wow.
which is on the top.
That water looks super clear, and that blue, that's not a filter that you put on there. That's really what it
No, no,
looks like. Wow.
yeah, exactly. Like Menorca is very like entire Mediterranean has this very nice blue color, and usually, especially in the summer when the sea is calm, the visibility is great. So, like it's all together makes a perfect place for
Yeah.
underwater shootings.
That's beautiful. And then people put plastic and pollute that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So here's exactly the same spot. Just we with Victor playing and inventing stuff. So here he's a torch pointing the torch
Yeah.
away from him, creating this nice effect. Exactly the same place that in the photo before.
It's amazing that you have that much light on the outside.
Yeah,
Kind of
it's like
natural light.
summer in Spain, a lot of sun, so
Yeah.
enjoying that even underwater.
Beautiful. Just beautiful. There we go.
Again, mantas in Maldives. Here you can see that you can swim between of them, and there's no problem at all. They are just doing their thing. They don't really they're not bothered. They don't care. So you can really enjoy the time and the show of the nature.
They look like little airplanes, don't they?
They look like a spacecrafts like from
Yeah,
Star
space
Trek or
race.
Star Wars or something. And
Exactly.
really like and they really look like flying, they have those wings, and they are like they big. You can see here like this always I really like to put this human silhouette somewhere so you can see the
Into
size of
perspective.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
so you can see the size of the animal or in the landscape. So here you can perfectly see how big they are. They have like 3-4 meters wingspan, so big
Wow.
guys.
Holy smokes. There we go.
Oh, here we go. We were talking about shipwrecks. This is one of my favorites. It's in Tenerife. One of the places like where I first were doing like real free diving. And it was one of the first places I visited. And here we are together with Miguel Lozano, one of the deepest minds of Earth. He dived to like 125, I believe.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, he knows what he's doing. So yeah, he's enjoying here. Nice photo shoot what we did. And actually behind him you can see a scuba diver. So you can
Oh,
like
yeah.
see that usually people scuba dive there. We are on the 30 meters here on this photo.
Oh, this is only 30 meters here.
Only, yeah.
Oh. Hey, so this is a morbid question, but I have to ask because that's just who I am. Do you ever find anything creepy on those ships, like, no skeletons or anything like that? Dead bodies?
No, maybe you could find a face of moray eel like creeping from some hole or something, but then they are they have this like teeth,
But no
and
human
they are
skeletons.
black but human usually all those places are quite well known. Like many people like dive there like daily. So and this, for example, this shipwreck in particular was sunk on the purpose to create like artificial reef.
Oh,
So
wow.
all the skeletons were well removed before they sank it. But yeah, for example, there are some cenotes in Mexico where you can actually find like skulls and skeletons. As the
Really?
cenotes were like for the natives, for Mayans, they were like sacred places, and for some of them they were like throwing I believe that dead people already, as
Oh my
to
God.
like to yeah like to some kind of cemetery. And now, like as the places were discovered as a very nice cave diving places there, and you can find those skeletons there.
Yeah.
But in more places where I've been so far, they are too well known to find those kind of things.
Interesting. Wow.
Mm.
Wow.
Those are mobile arrays, the smaller cousins of mantas, which we've seen on the other photos. This is in Baja California, the place where it's known of like all kind of underwater wildlife is there. One of my favorite places to dive for sure, and it's insane to see so many of those animals together, and they tend to create groups of thousands sometimes.
Yeah, it's a lot. Wow, what are
The same
those?
place, the same place, a little bit more far away offshore. Marlins hunting the sardines here. There's this famous event of sardine run.
Hmm.
The most famous sardine run we know is like in on South Africa. That's the sardines they create schools so big that can be seen from the moon and from the outer space. The sardine run in Mexico is way smaller, but still it's a really nice show. Maybe the sardines are not the most interesting animals in the world, but everything what goes after the sardines really is. So, for example, here marlins hunting them down. It's really a beautiful show. The marlin itself, it's amazing fish, as you can see, like with the with the sail on the top, with the spike, with the colors, the stripes. It's amazing to see them hunting so fast, so precise.
Interesting.
Here's a question. I see that everything seems like it's very well lit. How do you handle lighting underwater? Are you just shooting at a high ISO?
I mean, yeah, I mean, high ISO and modern sensors help a lot. Uh, Basically, many people use strobes for underwater photography, which is the way to provide some more light. As I usually see, I like the wide angle and stuff which cannot be lit or would be very difficult to lit with the strobes. I use only natural light. So you have to be very careful when you are exposing, and then there is a lot to do also in post processing regarding the light and the colors also, because water works as a filter. So deeper you dive, more red light is filtered out. So
Right.
you always have to do a little bit of post production.
Interesting. So the red light is
Color
filtered out the
correction.
deeper you
Yeah.
go.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's why everything is blue underwater, because
Oh,
the blue light which stays, and then the red, yellow, green are fading away.
interesting.
Here we can see a whale shark, the biggest fish that lives
Wow.
currently in our world. They can grow up to like 18 meters. This is in Maldives.
Whoa.
This one was, yeah, this one was
18.
this one was way smaller, and it was maybe 10 meters, but it's still impressive to see a fish that
Yeah.
size.
My gosh.
And they eat plankton.
Hmm.
And this is also the one of the type of photography which I do, just explore places. This is in the Red Sea in Dahab. Now Dahab is very famous because of one Netflix movie which was done about freediving there in Dahab. The Deepest Breath is called, and this is right next to the place. What I write about the Red Sea, it's not only the coral and so much marine life, small life, which lives on the coral reefs, but also the rock formations, a lot of caves, cracks, and stuff. This is
It's,
the crack which starts from like a surface and it goes all the way to like 50 meters deep. Here we are maybe like 15 meter, like on the halfway.
it's so clear. It almost doesn't look like it's underwater and right in the
Right.
foreground here. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it's always the deal of looking for a day with good visibility. Like we
Hmm.
are always talking about visibility. How always when you go to the water and see people going outside, you always ask, "Hey, how is the visibility?" Or when you know that your buddy was diving, I was like, "Hey, man, how was the visibility? Do you think that tomorrow it will be good?"
Hmm.
So it's all about
Very cool.
visibility.
Yeah.
In order to get the best lighting underwater, what would you say the best time of the day is to go?
Same rules as outside. Always like this golden hour in the morning or in the
Really?
evening. We give you like the most interesting and dramatic light. Maybe the golden hour in the water is a bit before than it's outside the water. But then when you in the underwater, we never have enough light. So when we talking about this shooting outside, we always say that shooting at 12 o'clock, 1, 2 is like a big no. Then underwater is not that big deal. So
Because you need more light, right?
exactly, yeah. Here we can see like one of my favorite kind of photos underwater is these split shots, which you can when you can show underwater world and outside on the
Yeah,
same
it's so
shot.
cool. It's so cool.
Quite difficult to achieve because you need to have the surface of the water right in the middle of the dome. So quite challenging
Yeah.
to shoot, but very very like
Now,
satisfactory when you
this
get it.
type of shot, I'm guessing you can only do it during golden hour because of the dynamic range, correct?
For example, yeah, here it was like on the almost on the evening that you can see this warm light, as you well said.
Hmm.
It's maybe it's not golden hour, but it's already going towards the evening. And also because here in this particular cave the light goes in only like when the sun is quite low already. If not, it's like
Oh, yeah.
the ceiling of the cave would be very very dark.
It's very cool. This is awesome. This is just awesome. It looks like a beehive, doesn't it? Like a
Yeah,
hornet's nest or was
yeah,
wasp.
it's a donut of sardines, you know.
It's a
Yeah,
school of fish.
the school of
Uh-huh.
fish. Sardines, huh?
Yeah, those are sardines. When they only way for them to defend themselves is to get together, create like a ball, and then the chances that a particular sardine will survive are way bigger if than when they are separated.
Really?
So when they are chased, they are always got together and they move like a huge one big organism, and they are very well organized together.
Yeah.
They really act as a one big thing, like
Wow.
something that has not like it's not made of 1,000 of little brains. It looks like one animal which is actually moving. um and then yeah, here on this photo you could see marlins in particular. What they do, they put them even more together, and then they move them up towards the surface so they cannot run away. At least in this dimension they cannot run away even more, so they can hunt them easier.
You know, you people that are just listening to these episodes, you really need to watch certain one. This for sure. This photo is just amazing. This huge school of sardines. I mean, it's phenomenal. Here's a very cool picture. Very clear into that water. Look at that.
Yeah,
My
that's what I
gosh.
told you about. What I told you about Menorca, and what's your friend asked about the timing. This is like evening light, so you can see how nice and warm light we can get underwater. So it's the
Yeah.
same exact rule that we use on the topside photography. And what I like to do sometimes is create this it's of course it's staged. No one does like walking somewhere and just petting the plants underwater. But what I like to show that underwater world, it's not that far from us. So we can stay there, we can be there, we can um interact with it. So when you can see a human just underwater, just with his and her sweatsuit, just a mask, it looks like way more accessible than when you see a scuba diver with all the gear, who looks like an astronaut. So this kind of photos, always we have some of those in our mind, and we really enjoy this kind of
Mm.
shootings.
Wow. Yeah. Beautiful.
Aha, and here is a photo I told you, 40 meters deep, perfect straight lines of basaltic rock here in Tenerife. So this is one of the deepest and most challenging shootings we've ever done. When you look at the top of those little mountains, hills, or how to call it, this is 20 meters deep. And
Okay.
when the guy is standing, it's already 40 meters.
Oh.
So it's like a lot of preparation. You need skill people with you, not only to pose on the photo, but also to like the people who wait on us for us on the surface to do safety for us, to be sure that we are safe and we can reach the surface. So these kind of shootings are really complex to organize and to prepare and to do.
Just amazing. Just amazing.
Yeah, this is inside of the Mother Earth and underwater. So this is underwater cave, which is so big that it penetrates like kilometers inside of the Menorca. And on some parts, it's like half of it is dry, and it creates those amazing stalactites, stalagmites. Just really looks like different planet.
Yeah.
And yeah, here what I told you before, like interaction with the wildlife, it's always the most magic moments when you can spot an animal, when you can swim with it, when you can see that animal also is curious about you, and it's not like swimming away or running away, but it stays there as it look at you. Here is same. Sea lions, they are or playful or they just don't want you to be there, and this is the case. This is the macho alpha. So he has the group of his females around him. He just doesn't want me to be there. So what they do, they just rush, they rush to you, and then they open their mouth to show how big mouth they have. So they it's like a message for you. All right, go away here. I have bigger tooth than you have. All right. I think this was the last photo we've prepared.
Here we go. We're back on the show. Well, Wojciech, where can people find you online?
So far I'm on Instagram. I think you can put it somewhere around so people can click and look for my Instagram. This is the place where I post my work. I find it the most easy to deliver my work to the people. There are some like a website is on the way and stuff, so maybe in the future, but so far the Instagram, like nowadays, I think is the easiest. Yeah, that's the place when you can share, when you can. What's important, what I like about this platform, that everyone can comment, everyone can write you, so it's not only you that you show your work, but you can get in touch with the people.
Feedback. Yeah, absolutely. Wojciech, listen, I want to thank you so much for being our guest here on Outdoors People. Pleasure having you, and wonderful work that you do. Really, kudos to you, sir.
It's my pleasure. Thank you very much for having me here. It was really nice to talk to you guys, and I hope that you enjoyed it and that your audience enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, well, thank you. I know I certainly did. Well, be sure to tune in for next week's episode, Free Fall Cinematography, with our guest, Joe Jennings. Until then, enjoy your evening, and we'll see you next week.